Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In case it's your first time here, my name is Oluchi, and today I'll be showing you guys how I created this most requested look on my Instagram page. If you want to know how I did it, please keep watching. Okay, so my client here came in, walked in for her birthday makeup, and she requested the same look. So I thought to myself, okay, why don't I share with my YouTube fans? So here I'm wiping her face, trying to get her face ready for the most requested look on my Instagram page. So you guys already know, first of all, I'll moisturize her face using the Msmetics moisture potion. I will be using my Vee Cosmetics brush to apply it all over her skin. So my client here has a very oily skin, but that won't stop me from moisturizing her face. So one thing you guys should know is that the skin needs moisture, whether it's dry or oily. So, and when you don't moisturize an oil-based skin, it will even produce more oil. So today I'm going to moisturize and always moisturize. Okay, so for my client's skin, I used 3 shades of foundation. Well, I mixed the 3 of them and it was actually her match, but later on I realized that it was slightly a bit darker than her skin, just slightly. But anyways, I went on with that because I had already used it all over the face, knowing that I can always balance it in one way. Which is the highlighting part of the face. So for her foundation, I used the 2 Hudabeauty foundation in coffee bean cocoa, and then the 3rd foundation I used was the Blackopal Beauty in Hazelnut. So I mixed all 3 to get her shade. As you guys can see, I think it's actually her shade, but I noticed that her neck is slightly lighter than her face. But anyway, no cause for alarm because I know that it will definitely blend at the end of the day by the time I do my highlights. Okay, so you all know that I use this my beautiful sponge from Whiteline Cosmetics. This time I didn't use a foundation brush all over her face, because I needed to apply the foundation on her face, that's why. And I did a mixture. The Blackopal stick helped to minimize the thickness of the Hudabeauty. And then if you notice from the other Hudabeauty I also used a stick foundation from Hudabeauty. Guys, you guys need to buy because this particular one is so soft and it feels like skin. It's softer than using the main Hudabeauty foundation, the one in the bottle. Okay, so for contour, I'm using this Nigerian brand Nubanbeauty foundation in D16 to contour her face. I know you guys know that I usually use the Dabelcosmetics in Swiss, I think, on dark skin, but this time around I feel that blood is going to appear too dark on her. If you guys notice, we moved the hair band a little bit so that I could get her forehead area. So I'm using this contour around the perimeters of her face. So after placing, I still went in to blend using the same Whiteline Beauty sponge. It's actually my favorite sponge for now. Okay, so you know that I'll always add the blush, the liquid blush. So I'm using the liquid blush on the highest point of her face, the forehead, the tip of the nose, the cheekbone. I told you guys in my previous videos that this helps to add freshness, makes the face plump, like it's not looking pale. So I'm definitely going to blend all that down because you don't want to leave it looking all patchy. Okay, so this is me blending it down. I'm still using the same beauty sponge. Well, why I like this beauty sponge is because it has 3 sides to it. The flat edge part, I used it for contour and for my blush, and the pointy part, I'll be using it for my liquid highlights. Okay, so making sure all that is blended, the next thing I'm going to go in with is concealer. So I'm using 3 concealers. I used 2 from the Nubanbeauty, which is 046 and 042 2.5, and I added 046, 049 I guess, and then I added the Nars concealer in Custard, just a little bit directly under her eyes to brighten up her eyes. Okay, so I added that Nars. Reason is because I figured that after I had contoured her face, I think she appeared a little bit dark. I don't know, but I just feel that way. But anyways, no cause for alarm. Reason is because if you notice, the whole perimeters of her face is looking bronzed up from the foundation. Okay, so now I'm blending with the pointy parts of the beauty sponge. I really love this beauty sponge from Vee Cosmetics. It's the softest and the blending is, in fact, it makes it so easy, you know. So since I started using it, I'm stuck. The only thing is that sometimes when it's getting old, it gets extremely soft that you may not be able to use it, and then you need to cop another one. Okay, so you guys know that this is my pattern of makeup. Well, sometimes it comes, highlight comes first before every other thing. So now I've blended in the concealer. You can see the effect is given with the blush I placed above her forehead. I'm so loving how it looked. I'm so loving it. So making sure I blended everything well, I still went in with the Custard, the Nars in Custard, just to brighten under her eyes a little bit more, because I think I'm liking the effect. If you also notice that the blush from the sides that is blended into the highlight is looking fresh too. It's no longer looking like it's pasted, even though I know that I really blended it well, but there's another effect it gives after you must have placed the highlight under the eyes. So next, I'm going to be setting under her eyes first with my favorite multi-purpose brush from Zaron Cosmetics. Oh my god, I think I'm going to buy this brush again because the brush is already begging me to save its life, like I've used the life out of it. So when placing highlight, when setting under the eyes, you really need to go very light-handed, because trust me, if you add some pressure on those hands, you're definitely going to, smear or rather lift the concealer you've put under the eyes. So why I set is because I really don't want to over bake. So it helps to set so that when you're baking because you want to seal up a little bit, and also to leave the powder under there as a shield for your fallouts. So I'm going to make sure that I set up everywhere, the forehead, everywhere I've put the concealer. Okay, so now I'm going into baking. I'm using the Nubanbeauty setting powder in caramel. This caramel is just perfect for my client's skin because looking at my client's skin, it has this kind of yellow undertone, and it just matches with this caramel. So I thought to myself, usually I would have used Laura Mercier, but I feel Laura Mercier would appear too dark on her, so I'm using a powder puff. Okay guys, you can also use a beauty blender, dry beauty blender, but why I prefer powder puff is because I can easily press into areas where I want to really set. So I'm indirectly setting and also baking, but I'm not using pressure, so that when you're blending it, it's going to be very easy. So you see how I take my time to seal up those places, because first of all, if you notice, I didn't even use a primer on her face. So for powder, I'm still using the Dabelcosmetics. It's my favorite face powder for now. So using the Nubanbeauty brush, I am setting every foundation in place. Guys, you don't want to leave any foundation looking like there's still foundation there, because you don't know. I don't know where my clients might be going. Maybe she'll have a party or meet up with friends, and I really don't want her makeup to run. So guys, whenever you don't have primer on, try as much as possible to set the foundation well. Trust me, the makeup is still going to last. Most of the time I don't use primers on my bride, and they say that their makeup lasts longer, but then there are some that I really have to prep their skin. Don't worry, I'm going to show you guys in one of my videos coming soon. I don't know when, but trust me, I'll always drop every tip for you guys on here. Okay, so I've already used the powder from the palette to also intensify her nose contour. But anyways, I didn't do a liquid contour, so that's why I went into contour her nose. And then secondly, I'm using this blush palette from Vee Beauty. If you notice, all those places I placed the liquid lipstick as my liquid blush, I placed my blush there. Okay, I decided to film this look, guys, because it's usually what I do when I set the face. I tend to use tissue paper to go into the tear duct to take out any tear or the white muco that always stays on that part of the eye. I do this because I don't want her to tear and then it starts affecting under the eyes. I know a lot of people have experienced it, and the reason why I use the paper towel is because I prefer it to Q-tips. Sometimes Q-tips actually has particles that could also enter the eye and disturb the client. That's why I still went in with a paper towel. So I'm going in to do the brows. I did one brows and the other was done off camera. So moving on, I used the TM Essentials Brow Tamer to tame down her brows. My client has coily brows. When I mean coily, it's long and then coily. I wish I filmed that part, because while I was grooming her brows, I was just like, oh my god, I hope I get this right. I mean, this is not the first time I do her makeup, but whenever I get to her brows, it feels like it's the first time. It was so scary. Like, I felt scared trying not to lose all her hairs, because everything is coily from the root to the tip. And then I didn't know the direction of where to start carving it, but I started from the coily tips, and before you know it, I started getting it right. So I used my Beautylinebydidi pencil in Brow-gasm, which is my favorite, to line her brows. And those same concealers I used for under her eyes, the 04946 and the Nars Cosmetics in Custard. Now I mixed the 049 and 046 together because I would have used the 046, but because I feel it's close to her shade, her complexion, but I didn't do it. I wanted it to be slightly lighter, because you know that when you are doing makeup on people, you should understand that the places that are supposed to be highlighted should either be a shade or 2 shades lighter. So that was exactly what I did to make it 2 shades lighter. So that's why I mix 046 and Nars Cosmetics in Custard. Just a little bit of Custard. I know Custard is quite light. I would have used other shades, but well, I've run out of shades that would have matched. So mixing is actually allowed. So for the inner corner of the eye, close to the brows, I have to, make it look like the contour. So I use the darker color, which is 049. Okay, so after doing that, I will blend using my beauty blender. You can also use a blending brush, but my reason for beauty blender is that it makes that place so smooth, and once it's smooth, trust me, my eyeshadow application is definitely going to be smooth. So I'm only using the brush to blend in the dark one into the light one. I don't want it to seem like there's a line there. So afterwards, I'm going to set the brows using the powder and making sure that it's the same shade at which I use the concealer that I'm also using in powder to set the brow bone area. Reason is because to avoid creasing, and it will also help your eyeshadow application easy. So guys, this is the main look why I filmed this video for you guys. So this is the most requested glam on my Instagram page. I'm sure that most of my followers will be like, she keeps doing this eye makeup all the time. I mean, it's not even my fault. It's not my fault because clients always ask me, I like this look, this is what I want. So I'm nobody to say no. This is what they want and they're paying for it. So this birthday girl here came to and say that I think I was even the one that told her that this is the look I want to create for my YouTube channel as my most requested look. And she was like, oh, how did you know it was what I wanted? I was like, oh, good. So we actually had the same plan, So you guys, this is the look I'm creating. So for this look, I first of all used the slightly orange eyeshadow from my Blosom African Queen palette. I usually do transition if you guys have watched my videos so well, but I decided I wanted to really know where I'm placing my pigment, so that's why I went in first with the pigmented eyeshadow. So going in with this Zulu by Juvias palette, I'm using the slightly burnt orange in it. It has a little bit of orange and brown in it, so I'm going to use it as my transition and slightly on the outer corner of her eyelid, just above the pigmented eyeshadow. So I'm going to blend it into the eyeshadow. Okay, this look, you can actually just finish up with it and line the eyes, but then because of the most requested look, I'm still going to go in with pigment. So for the blending, I use for eyeshadow brushes, I love to use these brushes I bought from Ali. I'll leave the link down below. So these brushes are Billy, I don't know how to pronounce it, it's Bieli. So I don't know, it's Billy or Bele, I don't know, but anyways, it's my favorite eye makeup brush. I've never thought of buying any other. In fact, before I run out of it, each time you wash your brushes, it weakens it. And I love washing my brushes. I hardly use brush cleaners, so I know that I'll need to be restocking on them every now and then. So guys, that reminds me, I'm going to be filming a look, or not a look, I will be filming on how I washed my brushes, the easiest way to wash your brushes, but that will be in another video. For now, let's face this one. Okay, so going in back with my Blosom Cosmetics African palette, I used the darkest brown on it just to add a little bit of that on the outer corner. Okay, so when I blended it into the first transition color, I needed to blend it because I don't want it to looking like there are colors being separated. It's not even good for eye makeup. So I'm using this brown on the outer V and I'm blending it into the crease line, making sure it's diffusing the first orange, the what do I call it? Yeah, the orange though. Okay, so blending it in and making sure there are no harsh lines, we go ahead to place my pigment. So for pigment, I'll be using my favorite pigment. It's actually my favorite pigment. It's called, what's this brand again? Peaches and Peach. Peaches and Peach, that's the name of the brand. Then the exact shade, the color I use from the Peaches and Peach is called Famous. Like, I was like, this pigment, while I was doing it, I was telling myself, oh my god, this is a pigment I'm going to use on my wedding day. I hope I don't finish it before my wedding day. So my friend was like, that means you have to hide it. Maybe I'll definitely hide it, but you know, when your client comes and they say that this is still the look I want, you have no choice than to do it because they're paying money. Okay, so placing the pigment, I use my e.l.f. glitter primer. NYX is very good. Actually, NYX is my favorite, but why I stopped buying it is because at some point the head starts cutting off from the body, and then before you know it, it's congealed and I won't be able to use it again, and it's money wasted. So I prefer to buy this easier one, which is the e.l.f. glitter primer. So I just place a little bit of the e.l.f. glitter primer. This pigment is quite loose, like very, very loose. It's not chunky like the other pigments we use here. You know, this one is very loose. It feels like it's so powdery. So you really need little or no glitter primer for placement, because if the glitter primer is too much, you'll need to be adding more of the pigment. So just because I wanted it to be simple, this pigment is so pigmented, like so pigmented. Even though that it's loose, it's very pigmented. So after placing it, the next thing I'm going to do is to blend out those powder under her eyes, the setting powders. Guys, do you notice how this setting powder is blending out? Okay, my tip for blending out under the eyes, you don't swipe. I mean, you don't swipe. I know some people do, but I think this is the best way, just to tap on it. That's why you don't go heavy-handed when you're placing the setting powder, so that when you're blending it out, it's just a simple tap you're going to do. And the tap is easier when you take a little bit of powder from your normal powder palette and just tap on it, and before you know it, it disappears. So the next thing is to line under her eyes. So I really don't want that liner to go off her waterline, but I really wanted it to be very dark. I like my liners very dark. Trust me, it really enhances the eye, it pops the eye. That's the word, it pops the eye. So something I did here that I decided to also film, because I feel is a very helpful tip. If you notice, before I lined the upper lid, I went in with my paper towel again. Reason is because when you line someone's under eye, the waterline, they tend to release a little bit of tear on the tear duct area. So for me not to mix up my liner with her tears, I went in with the paper towel. I just touched it. Once you touch it, it just dries up the the tears, the water, and it won't affect you when you're lining. And also, you see me using this mascara from Zaron Cosmetics, my favorite mascara. They are 4-in-1 mascara. I used it directly under her lashes. So my client really has very, very coily lashes as well, just like her brows. Oh, yeah, but I'm an artist. You have to fix everything. I can't recreate her. God created her, gave her coily lashes, and I can't do anything about it. So I have to use the mascara so well underneath her eyes just to take off every gold pigment, powder, everything, because I really hate it when I wear lashes. You see, when she looked up, you can't see any eyeshadow trace under her lashes. I hate to see that. It actually makes your work very tacky. So I used the Msmetics Dynamite lashes on her, and it looks so perfect. I had to cut it just for it to fit in. And then for her spray, I used the Maybelline Super Fix spray on her skin. I know you guys are used to my other sprays, but I decided to use this one. It dries faster, and I love the fact that it softens the face. It takes off all powdery effects. Well, I didn't really allow the face to dry. I just went in with my beauty blender to dab it. Okay, when dabbing, you have to really go light-handed. And why I did it is because I really wanted her skin to feel like, to take off every powdery effect. It's easier to get that result when you dab your used beauty blender on the spray. Just slightly dab everywhere. It will just sink your makeup in, and it will make it appear very neat. Okay, moving on to glow. You guys already know I would use my liquid glow before my powder glow. Also, I'll say the reason again, or you can watch other videos and see the reason. But anyways, no need. I use it because I really want the powder glow not to look like it's flaky. So I prefer to use the liquid glow, and I use Anastasia Beverlyhills liquid glow in Penny. That shade is so bronzy. It's my favorite. I use it on caramel to dark skin models or clients before I go in with my highlighter. So for the highlighter, I use my 89 Cosmetics in Booming. Okay, we're coming to the end of this video, which is the lips. So for her lips, I used my favorite lip palette from imagic. I'm using the darkest brown just to define the borders of her lips. So afterwards, I'll go in with the nude shade. And after the nude shades, guys, if you've watched my videos, you already know the next thing I'm going to use to blend the brown and the nude together. The line, the demarcation from the nude to the brown. I always use my peach color, the exact peach color I used on her cheeks. So this is me trying to introduce what's on her cheeks to the lips, because I want the lips and the cheeks to sync together. So that's how I do my lips. I always match it with the skin or the cheeks so that it doesn't look different, or having a yellow blush and then the lips is different. No. But yeah, is there anything like using a yellow blush? I don't know. I haven't used, but for now, this is my go-to blush color. It suits both light and dark skin. Then if the client or the model is darker than her, I would use red. Depends on the dark. Sometimes I even add purple. So you guys, if you keep watching my video, trust me, you're going to be seeing a lot of things, like what I do differently from the order. So make sure that you watch all my videos. You're not going to regret it. I'm pouring everything out, like everything. So you guys see how I blended that peach in between the nude and the brown. I don't want her lips to be too poppy. I don't know how to put it, but I want it to be very subtle. So I went in with my classic gloss. I mean, guys, this classic gloss is becoming my go-to. I think I'll just go pack it, and it's so cheap. It's around 500 naira. Yes, it is. And look at how popping it is. I mean, I don't need to break my bank, so you can copy yours too. So we're coming to the end of the video. This is the last part where I just gloss her lips and her makeup is ready. So the next thing is Lee's signature was the one that styled her hair. So he laid the frontal. Is this a frontal? This is actually a closure. So, and it was laid to perfection by the best in the East, Lee's signature. So guys, thank you so much. This is the end of the most requested look of my IG page. Thank you so much for watching. I forgot to mention, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please, I feel I've tried my best by posting everything and not letting you guys, hiding anything from you guys. So please subscribe to my channel, like, show me some love by commenting, and also share to your friend. Oh, my client is so happy. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.